People who were made to choose between your pet or your partner. How did your ex react when you chose your pet? My girlfriend Jess gave me an ultimatum about my dog Bruno and lost her mind when I picked him. She moved in with me last spring and immediately hated my pit bull mix. Bruno's a rescue with a rough past, but he's honestly the sweetest dog ever. Takes him a while to warm up to people, but once he does, he's your best friend for life. When we were long distance, Jess acted like she loved dogs, always asking for pictures of Bruno, saying how cute he was. But the second she moved in, everything changed. She'd flinch every time he barked at the doorbell, said he gave her bad vibes and made her uncomfortable, started locking him in the laundry room whenever she felt like it. I caught her spraying her fancy perfume all over his bed once. When I asked what she was doing, she wrinkled her nose and said he stank up the whole house. Bruno doesn't even smell bad. I bathe him every 2 weeks and he's actually pretty clean for a dog. Things got worse when I came home early from work one day and heard her screaming at Bruno through the laundry room door. She was calling him stupid and telling him to shut up. When I confronted her about it, she flipped it on me, said I cared more about some animal than our relationship, that Bruno was just a dog and she was my girlfriend. I tried explaining that Bruno wasn't just some dog. He'd been with me for 3 years, helped me through some really dark times after my dad died. But Jess didn't want to hear it. She kept saying I was choosing a pet over her happiness. The breaking point came when Bruno started limping really bad one morning. I rushed him to the vet thinking maybe he'd twisted his paw or something, but the vet examined him and said someone had kicked him hard, said there was no way it was an accident based on the bruising. I felt sick to my stomach driving home. Bruno was sitting in the passenger seat with his little cone on, looking so defeated. When I got back, Jess was on the couch watching Netflix like nothing happened. I asked her straight up if she'd hurt Bruno. She didn't even deny it. Just rolled her eyes and said maybe if I'd trained him better, she wouldn't have to discipline him. Said he'd gotten into the trash again and she was tired of cleaning up after him. I told her you don't kick a dog for getting in the trash. You just block access to it. That's when she exploded. Started screaming about how she was sick of living in a house that revolved around a stupid mutt. Said she couldn't relax in her own home because Bruno was always there. Demanded I choose between them right then and there. I didn't even hesitate. Walked over to the front door and held it open. Told her she had an hour to pack her stuff and get out. She stood there with her mouth hanging open like she couldn't believe what was happening. She tried backtracking then. Said she didn't mean it and we could work something out. Maybe Bruno could stay outside or I could find him a new home. I just kept holding the door open until she finally stormed out, calling me every name in the book. That night I went to the store and bought security cameras. Installed them everywhere while Bruno hobbled around supervising with his cone bumping into things. Took me 2 days to set up, but I wanted to see if Jess had been doing other stuff when I wasn't home. When I checked the footage from the past few weeks, I wanted to throw up. She'd been kicking Bruno almost daily, yelling at him, shoving him into his crate, even threw a shoe at his head once. The worst part was seeing Bruno just take it. He never fought back or even growled, just cowered and tried to get away from her. I turned the footage over to animal control just to have it on record. The officer said it was definitely abuse, and if Jess had any other pets, they'd need to investigate. Thankfully, she didn't. A week later, Jess showed up crying and begging me to take her back. Said she'd been stressed about the move and took it out on Bruno unfairly. Promised she'd never hurt him again if I gave her another chance. I showed her the security camera footage on my laptop. Her face went white watching herself kick Bruno while he was just trying to drink water. She tried saying the camera angle made it look worse than it was, that she barely touched him. I pointed to the vet bill on my counter and told her to leave. She started banging on my door for like 20 minutes after that, saying I was crazy for choosing a dog over her, that Bruno was manipulating me somehow and I couldn't see it. My neighbors probably thought I was getting murdered with all the screaming. Bruno's doing way better now. His limp is completely gone and he's back to his goofy self.